Hello there guys, what is going on? SonOfChelsea back here again for another edition of Let's Talk Chelsea. Hope you're all doing well and keeping safe on this Thursday. In today's episode, which is really the first proper Let's Talk Chelsea of the Thomas Tuchel era at Stamford Bridge, I want to react to his comments last night post-match after that Wolves draw. Also looking at how his arrival will impact the future of first team players. Firstly, N'Golo Kante, Tuchel's comments about N'Golo Kante, what lies ahead for the French midfielder at Chelsea now, and also Billy Gilmour, a potential loan for him as well at the end of this month, and also reacting to that new Nike fourth kit too. But before we get into any of that, I want to ask you guys, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Also hit that like button as well because it helps out the channel too. So let's get into last night's game. There was a brilliant piece this morning by The Athletic, Dominic Fifield, Simon Johnson, so much good reporting this week in terms of behind the scenes at Chelsea. But this was all about Thomas Tuchel's arrival at Stamford Bridge, and mainly at Cobham last night, his first training session. It was always going to be difficult last night, and you know, Wolves brought about 5 buses yesterday trying to get that point, which they inevitably got. I think some poor finishing on reflection really cost Chelsea on the night, but you could start to see some patterns of play and also some encouragement moving forward, get more confidence again, which Tuchel needs to bring to this team to have a good end to the season in the Premier League, Champions League and also FA Cup. But this piece really goes into it, and also how Tuchel sort of set up last night, his formation. They worked on it in training, the idea of Tuchel bringing everyone together in the squad, unity once again, which is what Chelsea need desperately right now. But I also wanted to go into sort of his post-match comments. I think he's a really interesting guy to listen to, and I really hope with the way maybe certain elements of the English media or just English fans in general, especially after what's just happened at Chelsea, are open to his new ideas and not so much in opposition to it, because sometimes, as we've seen with previous Chelsea managers and previous managers coming from foreign leagues with new ideas, there's usually opposition to it and there's cynicism to it rather than an open mind to new ideas. And I think the way he speaks about the game, you can sense his enthusiasm for it. He's almost so scientific about it. The way he spoke about ball recoveries a lot in almost every media interview he did after the game, he constantly spoke about ball recoveries, really focusing in less on the possession and passing and more of the work rate of his team that he was really impressed by. So I think when you listen to him in that way and study him a bit more, I think we're going to get some good quotes from Thomas Tuchel. And also in terms of turning Chelsea into a team that people fear and don't want to play, which is a really bold statement, but given his track record, given what he's already done in his career, he has it to back it up, and hopefully he can bring that to Stamford Bridge. So I found his post-match comments really revealing. You know, as I spoke about before last night's game in relation to Tuchel, I made that video yesterday about his background, his tactics. Really scientific guy, like a student of the game, and he definitely brings that, and he really goes into the details, and you can see that within his team. You can almost see that already within some of the play yesterday at Chelsea. So that's going to be exciting to see in the coming weeks under Tuchel. But as well, I want to sort of move on and talk about the squad and sort of some of the players that what their future is going to be for Chelsea now under Tuchel, under a new manager. And firstly, N'Golo Kante, because this report came out, I believe it was on Tuesday night, about N'Golo Kante and how Thomas Tuchel must persuade Kante to stay at the club, from Matt Law in the Telegraph. Matt Law says in his report that Kante is a quiet but popular figure within the Chelsea squad and is perhaps the club's only player who could be currently rated as being world class. Many of the friends he made, including Eden Hazard during his first Premier League title winning season at Chelsea, have long since left the club. Tuchel will be the 4th manager Kante will work under at Chelsea, and there are fears the constant changes and instability will weigh heavily on him. Power battles have broken out among Chelsea's inflated squad over recent weeks as players have jostled for position and presented their opinions over what has been going right or wrong. Kante has stayed out of any political battles and is not the type of character to talk to his managers or club bosses about how he feels. Nazar Kinsella, though, referencing Thomas Tuchel's post-match comments, Tuchel was really complimentary to N'Golo Kante, sort of speaking about how highly he rates him. This is what he said: "I fought for many years to have N'Golo Kante in my team, and now he is here." So really on the side of Tuchel, you can look at this 2 ways, right? Firstly, the personal side for N'Golo Kante, what that player is feeling at the moment in terms of where he sees his future at. You know, does he want to leave the club at the end of the season? But as the coach, I don't think we have a lot to worry about. I mean, it could just be, you know, him sort of bringing everyone in at the moment, as a coach probably should do when they've just arrived at this time at Chelsea. But we know in the past that PSG PSG when Tuchel arrived there wanted to sign N'Golo Kante, and why wouldn't you want a player of N'Golo Kante's ability and quality within the midfield at Chelsea? I don't know why you wouldn't want to utilise that. I think the issue has been for a number of years now under different coaches how to get the best out of N'Golo Kante and how to take him back to where he was, say, under Antonio Conte in 2016-17. And I think Tuchel probably has the best chance of doing that given his coaching nous and intelligence to get the best out of Kante. I guess personally for Kante, if you to go into his shoes over recent years, it has been quite disruptive. And in terms of his own positioning within the team, he started alongside Nemanja Matic in 16-17, then mostly alongside Cesc Fabregas in 17-18, still in that similar formation. But then, of course, when Maurizio Sarri arrived, everything changed for N'Golo Kante. He was shifted further up. Jorginho was at the base of midfield, all the debates around that. And then under Frank, it was a lot different. Sometimes he was playing as the lone DM, which we've seen more recently, but other times, like last season, he was a little bit further forward. Sometimes he played in a pivot. So where Tuchel sort of takes N'Golo Kante next, I think is going to be really interesting. If you look at Tuchel's career so far, he sort of opts, especially for more, I guess, DM or a deep midfielder, someone who is a little bit more of a passing sort of playmaker in that sense, who can dictate the mood and tempo of play, sort of a metronome type player. I don't think that's going to be N'Golo Kante, especially at his age now. I think he will be a little bit more advanced or playing alongside that type of player. We know Thomas Tuchel's ability in his career to change formations, to change approach depending on the opposition and circumstance. So with Kante now back fit, hopefully for Burnley, we're going to start to see how he integrates into this team now under Tuchel. But for me, still a world-class player. We've even seen it at moments this season for Chelsea. When you get N'Golo Kante working, he's transformative to Chelsea's midfield, and I think it would be silly, a player as well with that experience, to let him go. But N'Golo Kante himself may look at his career, may see offers abroad to go to, say, someone like Real Madrid or maybe even PSG, and think one big contract left in my career. He may feel like that, or we may still feel settled at Chelsea, and Tuchel's new vision for Chelsea Football Club may convince him to stay. Let me know your opinions on his story in the comments below. And next, Billy Gilmour, expected to leave on loan apparently at the end of this month. This is from the Telegraph once again. Chelsea midfielder Billy Gilmour expected to leave on loan for the remainder of the season. Gilmour played in the FA Cup win over Luton Town in Frank Lampard's last game before his sacking, with Tuchel leaving him out of the matchday squad to face Wolves in his first game in charge. The teenager is now expected to be given a short-term move to give him regular football and give him a chance of playing at the Euros for Scotland in the summer. He does need football, and it just shows you the disruptive nature currently at Chelsea and how it's going to have a knockdown effect for a lot of players in other ways. In some ways it can be brilliant because players who are outcast are now going to get chances under Tuchel, but it could work the other way. I think for Gilmour it's showing it's working the other way, because it felt like under Lampard he was right in the frame to start games. I'm a little bit surprised because I think Gilmour is that type of player. Once again, if we're speaking about Kante, if we're speaking about a deeper sort of midfielder, you felt that maybe Gilmour would be the type of player Tuchel would try and take under his wing and try and develop in the first team. Now that may happen maybe next season under Tuchel if things go well, but I'm a little bit concerned about Gilmour because I think he's such a great talent. I think he's got such a big future, and I look at least this season, the lack of invention and creativity and vision from someone like Jorginho compared to Billy Gilmour when he's on the pitch. I feel Jorginho is just a bit too safe in possession. Now that may change under a new coach in the long term and short term as well, but I just think Gilmour offers us a lot more mobility and also bravery on the pitch. So hopefully for his sake he gets a good loan move, he gets some good football. I think it should be a Premier League loan, to be honest, because I think he's already at that level, Premier League level, to have a really good loan move. Hopefully it's to a good destination, and then in the summer when we have a full pre-season, Tuchel can bring him back and hopefully we'll see what happens there. But let me know your opinions, because Gilmour, that midfield, it's been a constant debate, and hopefully by the end of this season we'll have a little bit more certainty around that area of the pitch. But Gilmour, such a big talent, I think has got such a bright future, and hopefully it will be in a Chelsea shirt. And finally, I want to react to the fourth kit that was released yesterday by the club. I was a little bit pessimistic about it a few weeks ago, but I actually love this design, and it's a bit of a shame that it looks like, from first impressions, this is not going to be a kit that the players actually wear on the pitch. It's more of a sort of a designer kit, which is a little bit weird. They've released it for a number of clubs, Liverpool, I believe Tottenham as well, a lot of nightclubs like Barcelona too and PSG. So it's sort of Nike's sort of way of promoting new kits, especially in relation to their 180 Air Max shoe, which you can see on screen now. So that's what our kit is inspired off of. But I like it, mainly I like it for nostalgic reasons. It reminds me a lot of the white away away kit in 03, 04, 04, 05, I think, for those 2 seasons. One of my favorite away kits. And I said this in the summer regarding Nike, that I felt that they should take more inspiration and try and recreate in some ways, or revamp sort of old classic kits that Chelsea fans loved. And this one for me in some ways relates to that one. Once again, it's just a bit of a shame that we're not going to see it on the pitch, but I have to say I'm quite impressed by the design of the kit, and it's probably one of Chelsea's best under Nike so far. Let me know your opinions on this, because I think it looks really good. I think it looks really clean on the players. Once again, bit of a shame that there's no shorts or socks. It's just a shirt that is more of a designer shirt basically. But let me know if you guys are going to pick up this casual kit from Nike right now, and what do you think about the kits moving forward? Do you think Nike is doing a good job? To let me know in the comments below. But that is it for this edition of Let's Talk Chelsea. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch it. If you did enjoy it, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Follow me on Twitter at SonOfChelsea. Have a great day, and I'll see you again